All right, hey YouTube. It's Max again. I literally just finished recording the Harry Potter rant video. I think it's literally uploading now. 17 minutes left. I haven't even watched it back because that's just the kind of person I am right now. Yeah, it's just going straight up. And now I've got this screen recorder going, and I was talking about the Harry Potter house quiz, and I got like a fuzz there. I got the Harry Potter house quiz, um, and I guess this kind of sparked my interest in personality quizzes. And as I was saying, in the fictional Harry Potter, my own kind of magic school thing, I have a personality kind of quiz that I've been working on. I've had like most of my friends take it. It's really interesting seeing the results. I would describe it as a very similar to the 16 personalities type, but with a few changes. In 16 personalities type, there's these four kind of groupings of people, and it's like the Sentinels, which are like the if you don't know what the Myers Briggs is at this point, this is gonna sound really weird, but it's the sensing and the judging people are the Sentinels. Then you've got the analysts, which are the T and the T and the N. Oh, that's not. This is in. So intuitive and thinking are the analysts. You got the diplomats, which are the F and the N's, and then you've got the explorers, which are the P's down here, and the S's. So if you know Myers Briggs, that will make sense. If you don't, it doesn't. And so I kind of wanted to make it. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, so my personality test is not like it's just for fun, as kind of the theme of most of these videos. Just kind of doing things for fun. I like the idea of personality quizzes. Wanted to make my own. It's just for fun. It's not a psychoanalysis of you. I think a lot of personality tests kind of have this sort of when critiqued and peer reviewed, they aren't really like a science anyway. It's just kind of a for fun thing. But they do have some practical benefits, I guess, in like work environments. You can kind of get to know employees and see who might work well together for strategic purposes like that. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Um, but anyway, I made this new account on here. It's on Crystal Nose. I think this is my favorite kind of site for this stuff. I've taken all these quizzes before, the Enneagram, 16 personalities, Big Five. I think Big Five is like the best one, per se, that with accuracy into who you are. But it's not as romantic, I'd say, because a lot of these ones have like a personality like profile that you can kind of sort of like a horoscope in a way, which I guess makes it a little bit less like authentic, sort of like uh the Harry Potter one. It's just kind of for fun. Anyway, Big Five, strength assessment, value assessment, all this sort of stuff that you can take. I believe it's all free. I really like this site, and they have like at work kind of things. You can get a an upgraded version with more content. I haven't explored it too much. It's just something that I enjoy as a hobby. So in this one, I'm going to take the personality quiz right here, 16 personality type. I think I already know my type. Um, Usually I'm either an INTP or an INTJ. I'm going to try and go into this without any bias. INTP is what I was way back in the day. Recently, I've been more INTJ, but sometimes I feel like I'm still an INTP. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So first question, getting a lot of messages from our beach chat thing. Um, First question, do I make lists or do I rely on memory more? So for a lot of these videos, I tend to make more lists. When I go grocery shopping, I tend to make lists, but I'm not very, um, I don't follow the list to a T. It's more of like a guideline to get me to, I feel like I need that sense of security to kind of fall back on in case I kind of have a brain fart. So that's my kind of purpose for lists. I don't think of them as rules or laws, but I do like writing things down. So I think that I lean towards making a list and writing something down, um, but I'm not avid about it. This one, so am I more skeptical or do I want to believe in something? I think that on the surface, I want to believe in things. I think that deep down, I'm very skeptical about things. And this is something where I wish I could be more on the side of wanting to believe. I don't think that I critique everything. I think I like to initially I am one of those people that has to sort of think before they speak, because I feel like I am going to say something that I'll regret, because I'm so skeptical. But because I think that I want to believe, I'm kind of leaning towards skeptical by my nature, but I do want to be better at believing. I think that it's just um, hard to really, um, you know, I don't want to fall into that trap of ignorance is bliss, if you know what I'm saying. So I'll go with that. Bored by alone time or needs alone time? Um, I think that I definitely need alone time. Like we went to the beach and I only wanted to stay for half the time because I there's only so long you can be surrounded by so many people, and even now Julia's going out and hanging out with more people. I really just want this day to just kind of decompress and be alone and just make YouTube videos that are, not going to be seen by people. So, need alone time. Do I accept things the way they are, or am I unsatisfied with the way things are? I am definitely someone who likes to adapt to my surroundings more than I like to change my surroundings. Um, if a good example at the beach, we're the only married couple, and someone else wanted the bunk bedroom, or no one wanted the bunk bedroom. Someone else wanted the double bed, and I was perfectly fine going to the bunk bedroom. I don't know what it really is. Like, it's not that I don't want to, like, I don't want to step on people's toes, but I think that it's like just kind of I feel like it's a cool, it's like something that I'm proud of being so adaptable to things that and this is why I think I might be P, because I like being adaptable and flexible, um, and accepting the way things are. Keeps a clean room or just puts stuff wherever. So I think that I'm in the middle on this one. I think that, you know, th- obviously I have that bed there. But I think that naturally I'm a minimalist, so I like to throw things out. I don't like to buy material possessions. I like things being clean because if I don't have stuff to put things, then it's just naturally clean. And it's this mentality of like I like there to be, um, you know, not that much maintenance on things. I don't like doing maintenance. So I'll say I'm in the middle. Like I don't like go out of my way to keep it clean all the time. I'll do like so that's not necessary. I'll like wipe the counters once per day, stuff like that. But like as far as doing like a deep clean of things, I just prefer to maybe I do try to keep a clean room. So I'll say that. Thinks robotic is an insult, strives to have a mechanical mind. I like to have a mechanical mind. I definitely lean towards that. I don't think that being robotic is an insult. I think that there is a good sense of having balance, but I do think that my mind sort of operates like a computer program, um, sort of like a folder. If you have a folder on your desktop and you have like all the different like bins, like subfolders and stuff like that, that is like if I get that like kind of everything just clicks, that's my and so like I would want to have like, and this is why like emotion kind of fascinates me at the same time, because I want to have an answer for every like like a pre fat, and this is like so ungenuine, but I like to have this like pre sense of like knowing what to say if this exact context comes up. So I like having that kind of like, I don't know, sort of like if you play one of those games like Detroit Become Human and you say something and it impacts the story in this already programmed way. I think that would be, I don't know. It's just something that makes me it gives me joy. This one's easy, mellow or energetic. I do not know how YouTubers can be super bubbly all the time on camera. I feel like I'm boring probably, but I it is what it is. I'm mellow. Um, select a circle to the statement. Oh, that's probably said in everything. Prefer multiple choice or essay answers. I like essay answers. I don't like, and this contradicts my whole. Um, this is why I think it's interesting because it contradicts my whole thing about wanting there to be like coded responses. I like the coded responses to be essay answers almost like um with some room for like you can kind of like this is why I don't know why I don't like being a DM more. I think it's just a lot of pressure, but I prefer essay. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes sense. I feel like I'm just kind of picking areas of my brain. Essay answers. I was always an essays answers guy in school. um Chaotic or organized, I definitely like organization. I feel like being chaotic a bit kind of stresses me out a little bit. Like if I go into my world building kind of folders and stuff and it's messy, I feel like I need to start over. I think that's what the whole minimalist thing. It's this constant struggle because the more I add, the messier it gets, the harder to maintain it is. But when I start over, it's all fresh and I have to redo everything. So I don't know. It's just this constant like layering of stuff. I think that I want to be all the way organized, but I am a bit chaotic sometimes. Easily hurt, thick-skinned. Compared to most people, I think that I have relatively thick skin. Um, I feel like I don't really get my feelings hurt too often. Like sometimes I might, but it's pretty like maybe like once every couple months or something. But I don't really remember having like the last time. I'm not like much of a crier or anything like that, and I don't say that to be like macho. Like I just don't really like. I feel like I'm just like emotionally like stunted sometimes. Like I just don't feel um, as strongly about things. Um, like maybe I do, and I just don't know it. But I guess maybe I'll watch these back sometime and be like, ah, you were easily hurt about that thing. But I think we're all like flawed humans. I'd lean toward thick-skinned. I'm not a robot when it comes to thick skin, but definitely like lean towards it. Works best in groups, works best alone. This is one that I also um, feel a bit torn about. I do think that I am naturally good at working by myself on things, but I think that my best work tends to be in collaboration. I think the best works are usually like collaborated upon. But the thing is, it's hard because it depends on the project. I do like to be the leader sometimes, but I don't want to fight for a leadership position. So if someone else wants to be the leader, then I just gladly hand it to them. But if I'm the leader, then I can be a bit like controlling, I guess sometimes, and I get like upset if people aren't really, putting their all into it. So I try to abstain from being the leader for that reason, just because it's less stress on my part. I'll do my work, and then I don't have to manage people. I hate managing people. I think that's the worst. Um, I was a supervisor at one point, and I got out of that quickly. Um, but I do like those kinds of things in groups where like you're doing a dungeon crawl in a video game and everyone has a role, and I like to do my role, and I that when the chemistry of the group is just on point, I think that is my ideal situation. But most of the time I work best alone. I'm gonna say in the middle because I think that it really is it depends on the situation, depends on the context. Focus on the present or the future. I'm always focused on the future. um, I feel like I'm just always there. I feel like even if I get criticized a lot by Julia, we're having dinner, and I'm like, "What do you want to do after dinner?" It's hard for me to just like come up with conversations like, "How was your day?" Like, because I feel like that's small talking, and I don't really like small talking. I like focused on, and this might be like I'm like a planning ahead kind of guy, maybe like when it was like make the plans. I don't know. I think I'm always focused on the future, not really in the present. Like plans far ahead, plans last minute. I definitely plan ahead. Um, but this also ties back to if I'm being the leader. If I'm the leader and I'm allowed that power, I will make sure that everything's accounted for. Um, and I'm open to being like, I'll miss something, and honestly, it's not that I want everything to go according to plan. It's that I have like backup plans and I count like, oh, we're gonna have like this gap of time for like in case something goes wrong. I think I'm really good at that kind of planning where it's like a loose itinerary where there's always going to be something to do, but we don't have to do everything on the list. We're not feeling that pressure. I think that that is my kind of planning. I enjoy that. Like people say like, "Oh, do you have the plans for the future?" I was thinking about like getting married um in high school. I was like, what's my life going to look like in 10 years? Am I going to, how am I going to, I don't know. It's just like those things where I'm like, when am I going to have kids? Oh, I'm going to have kids probably at this age. So far, everything's going to plan. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to stress out about it. So I think I definitely like think about plans. I don't stress out about the plans, but I definitely think about planning. Um, want people's respect or want people's love. Um, this is something I feel like both are very important. I think that it's important to be loved because I think that if no one loves you, then you miss out on a lot of emotional kind of connections that you can have with people. Same with respect. I feel like if you are um, not respected, people can just walk all over you, and that's also kind of a negative. I think that they're both important. If I had to say one's more important, it would probably be a context thing. So I think I'm right in the middle there. Sorry, I feel like I have a stuffy nose or something. Um, gets worn out at parties, gets fired up at parties. I don't like parties that much. I like house parties. I like when people come to my house and I can be in my pajamas. I don't really like going out. I get stressed out. I think that I'm always thinking about like, I don't live in the moment. I live in the future. I'm always thinking about how am I going to get home? How is this going to affect my bank account? It's just, I'm always like, I could have just gone to the store and bought a 6 pack of beer or something instead of buying that much for this one beer. I think they're good to experience from time to time, but I could live without parties. Fits in, stands out. I think I stand out. It's really interesting in my friend group. I think that I am kind of in the current friend group. I feel like I'm part of like the OG circle in a way, but I think that I'm also on the outskirts, if that makes sense. So like, um, when we describe our friend group, often we think about like, who are you in like the office or something, and I feel like um I'm mostly described as Jim for some reason. And my wife Julie is mostly described as Pam, and I think that's mostly because we were always the dating people. Like we've been together for 10 years. Our friend group has known each other for like 10 years or so. So I think that we've always just been kind of like known for that. Julia's like kind of this I'd say she's an organizer type, so plans always fall around her. And because I'm naturally associated with Julia, I'm just part of the in crowd. I feel like if I was not with Julia, I would be this kind of like outside member of the friend. So I think that I stand out rather than I fit in. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's just my explanation. Commits or keeps options open. Um, I like to commit to things if I say that I'm going to do it. So if we have plans to play D&D, I like to say I will be there. I don't like to be like I might be there, I might not be there. Um, if it's something like, hanging out with family, it's something where I'm like, okay, I will show up like 10 minutes early kind of thing. It's like when I think of like my planning again, I plan this one activity, this main activity for the day, and if there's something else that comes up, I'd be like, I have this thing that I'm committed to, but I might, so I might, be late to it. I'm very into that kind of mentality. I don't really like this whole like I'm just gonna show up late without not telling people, or I'm just gonna cancel last minute. I and do what I want to do. I'm definitely a committer. Sorry, I'm talking so much. I just, like I said earlier, I recorded like a 30-minute video about talking about Harry Potter. Haven't even had water or any coffee yet, and I'm already 20 minutes into this one. I don't know how people talk for so long. All right. Wants to be good at fixing things, wants to be good at fixing people. Um, this is actually a good one. I don't really care. Like when I think about fixing things, I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is I could hire someone to do that. It doesn't really bother me that much if I can personally fix a thing or not. Like, for example, I'm thinking like I was never into fixing cars, not really into fixing computers, not really into fixing like, the dishwasher or anything like that. I'm mostly like one of the things I like about living currently in an apartment is being able to call them maintenance people and, letting them do it. So I think that I would feel more satisfaction if someone came to me and wanted like needed my help as opposed to me fixing something that had no feelings. So there. I definitely listen more than I talk, despite this YouTube channel. I talk so fucking long, but this in like real life, I definitely don't talk that much. And that's probably why my voice isn't used to talking this much. When describing an event, you'll tell people what happened, tell people what it meant. I am not a very good oral storyteller. I just say the minimum amount I can. But when it comes to writing things down, I can go into a lot of detail and information. I'll lean towards this one because it doesn't really specify. I guess it does with tell, but I'm going to say I'm mostly, if I'm talking to someone, I don't talk that long. Procrastinates, gets things done right away. I'm actually this one. I would like to say I'm like the opposite of a procrastinator, but in the worst way. Where like if a paper needs to be done for school, like back in the day, I would write it like then that night and turn it in the next day. And the reason for that is because I don't want to think about it anymore. And the teachers would always be like, "You have like, a couple weeks," and I'd be like, "I don't want to think about it." And that has followed me to this day. My boss will be like, "You have until like the end of the week or the end of the month to do this," and I finish it before the end of the day just so I don't have to think about it. So I get things done right away. If I don't get things done right away, then you know for sure that I've forgotten about it. I think one of my fears is that I will forget about it, and then that will come back and bite me later. So I get it done. Follows the heart, follows the head. I think that I listen to the heart, but I follow the head most of the time. And I don't know if this is just me being biased, but I think that I tend to like to think and analyze things more than I like to just go with a gut opinion. So or I don't know, that's just my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that I follow the head. 'Cause stays at home, goes out in the town. I think we discussed this one with parties. I'm a homebody. I don't like leaving my house. Wants the big picture, wants the details. I am a big picture guy. I don't like the details that much. I think it's hard for me to write stories for this reason. I just like the big picture. The details, I do like them sometimes, but I think that I am the definition of a big picture person. Improvises or prepares. This is interesting because I always talked about how I'm a planner, but is in the context of like I feel like commitment level or and I think that if I'm always committed. I don't like to kind of like wing commitment. because I feel like that has to do with respecting people's time. I think there was another one about like making a list. I like to make a list for things like when I make a YouTube video, I'll make like a short like notes document talking about like what I want to talk about. Um, but I do tend to improvise a lot as well. Like I feel like improvisation is almost inevitable. So I do think I do that a bit. I'm gonna go in the middle. I prepare a little bit, but I'm preparing to improvise. Basis morality based on justice or compassion. Um, I don't think I'm a very lawful person. I don't think I'm a very chaotic person, but I think that justice is a flawed mechanic. I mean, I think it's necessary, but I think it's flawed. I think that really the best method is to look at the. I'll go here because I think that justice is important, but I think that being compassionate is really understanding the context of the circumstance is really the real what we should be doing. Finds it difficult to yell very loudly when others are far away. Yelling at others comes naturally. I don't like yelling that much. I don't even like talking that much. So I'm going to say that this is there. Theoretical or empirical. This is interesting. I do think that I like a lot of theory more than empirical, but I like to have some empirical, not just theory. Um, I think that I probably lean more towards theory, but I do see um, the importance of empirical data and evidence. So I don't know. I like thoughts being in my head. Works hard, plays hard. I work hard so I can play hard. Kind of going back to the whole, I like getting things done ahead of time that I can relax. I really enjoy my current job situation where I can just work at the beginning of the day, and then once my work is over, I can just relax. Um, I think that I am in the middle. I don't know. I like to do both. Uncomfortable with emotions, values emotions. I am definitely uncomfortable with a lot of emotions. It's hard for me to talk to people directly about emotions. I feel like there's just so many thoughts in my mind that emotions are complicated and not precise and cookie cutter. So it's hard for me to really navigate that kind of environment. So I do think I lean more towards uncomfortable with emotions, but I do value them. I'm going to go right there. Likes to perform in front of people, avoids public speaking. So I majored in communication where I had to debate in front of people and perform in front of people, and I was not a fan of doing it, but I saw the value in learning how to do it. So I think I avoid it rather than I like it, but I do think that it matters a lot to be able to do it. And this is one of the things about being a DM that I don't like. I don't like um, I feel like I'm performing in front of everyone all the time, and I don't like that. So whereas if I'm a player, I can just sort of be myself, but I don't have to be all these manage all this stuff and put on this production. So I'm gonna say avoid leans leans this way. Likes to know who, what, when. Likes to know why. Um, I think I probably like both of them. I don't know. I think that all of these are valid. I don't really have a strong inclination to go either way. I think that all information is valuable depending on context. So in the middle. This one looks like the last one. Oh, wait, that was the last one. Cool. So I guess we'll see what we got. Usually, like I said, we're about 30 minutes into this. Good lord. I am. I used to be an INTP, and recently I've been an INTJ. We'll see what I am. Yep, INTJ. So, um, INTJ is introverted, intuitive thinking, and judging. Um, tends to be confident, analytical, and ambitious, likely to be an independent thinker focused on solving the world's problems. Um, it's I feel like this one describes me a lot as I've become more of an adult. Really the big difference being J or P. I think that when I think of the J versus P, I think of P as being more flexible. I think that I am flexible, but also wants more freedom. I think in P, whereas J I think likes more structure, likes more security. And so with like my own houses, I really want to emphasize this distinction between security and freedom. And in that, so the Azure Bears in mine would be more security focused, and the Golden Eagles are spread their wings, free spirited. And so I really wanted to highlight that distinction. I think this kind of split for me. Really wanted to. I feel like sometimes, like it says, usually flexible and spontaneous. It doesn't really say free spirited or values freedom, whereas this one says structured and organized. Doesn't really say values security. So I think that's a pretty big distinction in that one that, yeah, I've already said, hammered home. Feeling prefers emotion to logic. I do sense the value of emotion, but I think that I am just more comfortable in a world where everyone is logical and not trusting their gut so much, because I think that causes a lot of problems. It does do a lot of good, but I think that there's a lot of you can't really resolve that. It's just kind of an agree to disagree situation, and I feel like that doesn't have closure, and that kind of annoys me as this TJ. I feel like I like closure. Um, and yeah, following things with their head, considering facts when making decisions. Yeah, I think that's definitely me. Especially being like a debate guy in college, I like when you can kind of win an argument, and I don't always have to win, but I feel like this whole distinction of being a TJ, really, I care about there being a closure, and even if I'm not a winner, it's not really about winning, it's about finding the truth to me. Sensing types focus on new things. I prefer to experience new things and focus on the reality. This is interesting because I do like taste tests a lot. So I do like new things and new experiences, but I do think that I like to explore new ideas more than new experiences. And I think one of the things for this is new ideas don't really cost money, and new experiences tend to cost money. And with this whole like kind of homebody kind of thing, with security, I'm definitely like I prefer not to spend a lot of money. Minimalism. So maybe I'm just frugal. Maybe that's what an INTJ is. I don't know. And then extroverts draw time from spending, or draw energy from spending time around people. Draw time or energy from time alone. I cannot talk anymore. We're gonna have to cut this off soon. Perfectly describes me. I don't like leaving my house. Again, going into that whole like maybe frugal mentality, minimalism mentality. I like being in my thoughts. I like the value of people, but I cannot take people um, all the time. I definitely need breaks. But yeah, that was a long video to do 16 personality assessment. I am INTJ. And maybe I'll do another one with the Enneagram and the Big Five, and maybe some of these other ones, just to, we'll discover these together, even though I've already done them, so I know what that I should be. But um, it's kind of cool to talk through them and see if anything might change. But yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll link this if you haven't done it before. I definitely recommend doing these. It's pretty cool just for fun. Might learn something about yourself. But yeah, have a good rest of your day. I think I have a week of videos scheduled, so this might come out a week from recording. So yeah, have a good one. Later days.